The murder of Rasputin had solved nothing for the Tsar, the Tsarina, or Russia. The war dragged on in a dismally continuing series of military disasters. And behind the front, unrest stalked the hovels and palaces alike. Nicholas had to return from the front.
He comes back to Petrograd, which is suffering from desertion, from bread riots, from strikes in factories, and is very quickly confronted with a demand that he resign, he abdicate his throne. And this demand comes not from Bolsheviks or from even liberal politicians, but from very conservative politicians in the high command of the army. So Nicholas is persuaded to abdicate. After his abdication, Nicholas retires to the country, which is his usual response to any traumatic event. Nicholas is offered the opportunity to flee the country. He's invited by his royal cousins in England to come to England and escape Russia, but he doesn't take up that invitation.
He had made a terrible mistake. With every further slip of Russia into revolutionary chaos, the royal family's hold on life slipped a little more. As Lenin and Trotsky led the revolution, Nicholas was arrested in February 1917. He and his family were moved from place to place for 16 months, finally arriving in Ekaterinburg in the Ural Mountains.
From the beginning, the Bolsheviks were afraid that their enemies might use Nicholas, a living Nicholas, as a symbolic rallying point for the counter-revolution. Nicholas is moved from place to place with his immediate family, his wife and children, and with a small servants contingent, housekeepers, butlers, nannies for the children. They're treated already with a certain amount of disrespect by their local Bolshevik guards.
Trotsky wanted to put the royal family, the Romanovs, on trial. And Trotsky would be the prosecutor, of course, and he would humiliate them in public. Lenin said no. He would turn them into martyrs, and the possibility might turn against them.
There certainly had been discussions of a murder of the Tsar's family in the highest levels of the Bolshevik government before this. Some historians are willing to believe that Lenin ordered the assassinations.
And so this message was transferred to Ekaterinburg. Now, it was perfectly okay in Ekaterinburg because there was a Soviet there who was very eager to do away with the Romanovs.
The Ekaterinburg Soviet was led by cold, correct Yakub Yurovsky, a hater of the Tsar and the perfect tool of assassination.
At 10:30 that night, the Romanovs went to bed for the last time. At midnight, they heard a knock on the door. They were told to dress, get ready, because the Czechs and the White Russians were about ready to invade the town, and they had to be spirited off. They were led into a semi-basement room, and they were treated again very nicely. They were given 3 chairs, one each for the Tsar and the Tsarina, and one for Alexis, who was not very well. Now Yurovsky comes back, and he says, "It's too late, we're going to have to kill you." Nicholas rises to protest, and Yurovsky kills him with 1 bullet. In come the rest of the guards, and a fusillade of shots erupts. And it kills all 4 of the girls, the Tsar, the Tsarina, and also the footman, the doctor, and not the maid. The maid is running around back and forth, screaming. The men who have fired the first fusillade of shots go into the other room, bring back their rifles with bayonets on them, and stab her 30 times. Alexis is not quite dead. Yurovsky goes over to him, places his pistol in the poor boy's ear, fires 2 shots, and kills him.
Daughter Anastasia was finished off by bayonets. Even Jimmy, the family's Cocker Spaniel, was assassinated.
The assassination in its brutality is very important for capturing the mood of the period as one of brutality, harshness, insensitivity, and a sense of this overpowering vengeance.
Now it's time to dispose of the bodies. They're dragged off to a mine shaft, an abandoned mine shaft nearby. Sulfuric acid is poured on them to decompose the bodies. They are dismembered also, and they are shoved down into the mine shaft. The Bolsheviks realized, after this assassination, that assassination and terror were both weapons that could be used effectively against their enemies.
The Romanovs' assassination had changed Russia's world indelibly. The rallying symbol of the old guard was dead, and the revolution unbreakably in place. But both Leon Trotsky and Vladimir Ilyich Lenin would quickly find that the bitter blade of assassination cuts too ready.